Superman and Lois just took it to the next level here because, of course, a couple episodes ago, we got this crazy twist with Captain Luthor turning out to actually be John Henry Irons and not only not the bad guy, but also steal from the comics. And that was already a crazy twist. It was already like, wow, this show is just so good. But then this episode 9, delivered an even more game-changing twist that was so unexpected to the point where it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense with what they've set up so far. But at the same time, I don't even care because it was so awesome. And it was just so cool. I loved it. But anyways, guys, we have a lot to talk about. We're going to go ahead and get into this now. But before I do, quick spoiler warning if you have not seen Superman and Lois Season 1, Episode 9. So, this episode, the main story is the investigation of Morgan Edge. And in this episode at the beginning, we have a team up between Lois, Clark, and Chrissy, as well as Lana, of course, being their agent on the inside, just investigating Morgan Edge, trying to figure out what he is doing. Meanwhile, as they're doing that, we also see that he is making some more Kryptonians, specifically Emily, who is the lady that literally Lana just hired for the job, and like she knows her and all this stuff, so definitely not good. But things start getting a little funky here when Superman goes to stop a bank robbery in Mexico, and he starts feeling a little weird, and then all of a sudden he passes out, and like all these bullets are like actually hitting him, and of course he wakes up and he still saves the day. But when he does, like after he gets home, he has bruises from all the bullets all over his body. So that's clearly not normal. And then things are getting funky for Jordan as well, because all of a sudden he starts sneezing ice, and at first I think that's, he's just developing a new power, but no, turns out he's actually sick, and both he and his father are sick due to the Kryptonian gas, kryptonite gas that they were exposed to last week by Rossetti. So this clearly is not a good thing, and everybody is mad at General Lane because he's the one that developed the weapon, and he's like, we didn't even test it, we didn't know how it was going to affect him and all this stuff. But Lois isn't taking it, so she just full-on kicks him out of the house, and Clark, he has to do something because Jordan is just not in a good condition right now. So he takes him, of course, to the Fortress of Solitude. I always love these scenes and these adventures of taking the characters back over to the Fortress of Solitude. And we find out from Jor-El that the only way to get this kryptonite out of Jordan's system is with heat. So Clark literally has to stand there and hold Jordan so that the Fortress of Solitude can shoot lasers at him to get this kryptonite out. And they eventually end up doing that. Obviously, Jordan is in a lot of pain. But after this, I do like how we get a nice, just like a really great father-son moment here between Clark and Jordan. It's just really cool. But there, so they are good for now in this episode. But again, they're still worried about like what other kryptonite weapons has General Lane made that could possibly get into the wrong hands once again. But then we get the negative effects of this, of Jordan not being at school, because now he and Sarah are kind of like the dynamic duo for like talent shows and stuff. So there's a new talent show at school and Sarah is going to perform, but Jordan is like out sick. So she goes up to perform and she doesn't have her music partner. So that is when Kyle, her father, gets up on stage with her, plays the guitar, and it's great. She sings her song, such a good song, and such great singing. I mean, this actress is so good at singing. I really wasn't expecting that last episode, but like, wow, she is a good singer right here. But things get weird again when Emily, again earlier, who is now a Kryptonian, all of a sudden gets up and leaves the talent show in the middle of her own daughter's performance. Talk about bad parenting. I mean, like, she just straight up gets up and leaves. And Kyle actually leaves with her to, like, check on her and stuff. Because Lana's like, where's she going? Like, why is she doing that? This isn't normal. So Kyle goes after her. And we find out that Morgan Edge has actually activated the Kryptonians to go after Lois, the one that Superman protects. So Lois and Jonathan are under attack at their home because Emily and some other Kryptonian guy have shown up and they're straight up trying to kill her. But General Lane shows up and kind of saves the day with his kryptonite weapons. Turns out they actually came in handy here. So I guess they do have a use in this world. But things don't stay good for long, because like while General Lane is fighting off the Kryptonians, Kyle shows up and he's like, "Oh, Lois, what's going on?" and all this stuff. But then all of a sudden he turns on them, and we find out that he is a Kryptonian as well. And it's just, I remember as soon as this happened and like he went full laser eyes and everything, I was like, "No, Kyle, not Kyle." Like just starting to like this guy again. Starting to, like, he's just starting to get his life turned around, stopping with drinking, getting sober and all that stuff, trying to become more of a family man. And then this happens. Just, I predicted this last week. They're trying to make us fall in love with this character, then boom, they're just gonna rip him away from us. And I feel like that's exactly what's gonna happen. I feel like he's gonna either sacrifice himself or he's gonna die here, because after this, Superman shows up and they all retreat. Because of course, I mean, they're not going to go up against Superman himself. But when Kyle gets home, he doesn't lie about this. He tells Lana exactly what happened, and he's just super confused about what happened. He doesn't know. He explains like how he blacked out and everything. And again, you can tell that like it's like a split personality thing of like Kyle, like actual Kyle, he wants to change his life, turn his life around and change for the better. So he thought going to work with Morgan Edge would do that, and definitely made a change to his life, but just not for the better, because now he's a Kryptonian. He's basically under the control of Morgan Edge, which, speaking of that, we find out something interesting about him, because Lois and Clark, they basically solved their investigation here, because they keep wondering, like, why is Morgan Edge still here? What is his attachment to Smallville? And we find out that actually it's because Smallville, or the residents of Smallville, are the best hosts for these Kryptonians, because they've been exposed to this ex-kryptonite that's underground in the mines their whole lives. So they're the perfect candidates to become these Kryptonians. So that's already a big reveal there with Morgan Edge. But then the big reveal, because Superman, he goes off to actually find Morgan Edge. And this was super confusing for me, because all of a sudden we were in like the middle of this desert. And I was like, whoa, what is going on here? And you see that Morgan is wearing this like weird Kryptonian outfit. And it's like, bro, what are you doing, man? And then this is when he reveals to him, not only does he have powers, which honestly makes sense, because, I mean, if he's giving away Kryptonian powers, why would he not have powers himself? But he reveals also that he is from another planet, and he got his powers the same time that Clark did. And that is where the episode ends. That is straight up where the episode ends, just leaving us on that huge, twisty cliffhanger right there. And my mind just went so many places here. Probably the number one spot it went to is he Zod? Is Morgan Edge actually General Zod? I feel like that could be the case, because, I mean, like, he does look like Zod. He looks a lot like Zod, especially with the outfit he was wearing. And it did look very Kryptonian. So, I mean, that's the thing that makes the most sense to me, and that also actually kind of relates back to Smallville, like the actual Smallville series, because when Zod was in that series, his whole thing was that he wanted to, like, restart the Kryptonian civilization on Earth, and that's basically what Morgan Edge is trying to do here in Superman and Lois, is with bringing all of these Kryptonian souls into these human bodies. So I feel like this most likely is General Zod, which is kind of crazy. I'm pretty sure we saw Zod previously in the Arrowverse on an episode of Supergirl. But, I mean, you can just explain it as, Crisis, it just rewrote things. Zod is a completely different person now. So, I don't know, but this is just such a crazy twist, because we went into this season already hearing the leaks of that Captain Luthor reveal at the end of the first episode, thinking like, oh my god, guys, the main villain of Superman and Lois season 1 is an alternate version of Lex Luthor. But then it turns out not only is he not Lex Luthor, but he's also not the villain, but then the real villain is not only Morgan Edge, but not really Morgan Edge, because it's actually General Zod or some other Kryptonian, which is honestly just, there's so many twists and turns here. It's really just so crazy and so insane, but so awesome. I love this. I really do love this. So anyways, guys, again, that was where the episode ended, on that crazy cliffhanger. So Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. Who do you think Morgan Edge really is? Do you think he is General Zod like I do, or do you think he's somebody else? Maybe there's some other more obscure Superman or even Supergirl villain that he could possibly be. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But let me know your theories in the comments below. And, of course, all your thoughts on this episode and predictions for the future of Superman and Lois Season 1. We're already halfway through the season. Actually, just like 5 or 6 episodes left because there's going to be 15 episodes. So we're nearing the end.